Okay, well, welcome to Diving Deeper. I'm your host, Jim McGinnis, and today we will be talking about bringing heaven to earth through divine union with our very special friend, Heart family member Niobe Weaver. And since we have someone new, David, thank you for joining us. And just a little bit about us. We are the Heart family based in love-centered messages from Jeshua, Mother Mary, Father Joseph, and Mary Magdalene, channeled by our beloved Reverend Judy Coates over the last 30 years, and having 9 books of Jeshua, the Person of Christ, published. And Diving Deeper is our very special monthly exploration of some of the main teachings of Jeshua with our Heart family members, and anyone who joins us is a Heart family member, and for us to benefit and really take in the messages that Jeshua has shared with us on our path to awakening. So today's agenda is for me to welcome you, opening prayer with Josie, which we will have in just a second here, inspirational message with Niobe, and we'll discuss Jeshua's quotes and teachings, then a guided meditation and closing prayer. And just to let you know that our mission is to promote peace on earth, respect for all life, and the empowerment of each person to fulfill their potential. And that's a lovely picture of our wonderful Judith. So at this point, I'm going to stop share and invite Josie to to pray us in here.
Okay. May we become still. And let's put some focus on Niobe and our beloved new Heart family friend, David. We know that all of us are included because there is no separation. So as we go forth in peace and love and in joy, knowing that this hour or so will be the best hour we've ever had on this earth plane. For we are that we seemingly seek. And so we thank our beloved Niobe for bringing forth the truth of our being in us so that we are consciously aware that what we're looking for, we're looking with. So as we bless ourselves as the one that we are, we send this love out into the world, knowing that they also are with us, for there is no separation. We give thanks for this truth as we go forth in peace, in love, and in joy, knowing that all is well and well indeed, no matter the appearance. Thank you, Father, as we enjoy this beautiful time together, for we have said, yes, we will come together as one. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And so it is. Amen and amen.
Thank you, Josie. We really appreciate your divinely inspired words and the sentiment of love as we connect together in a circle of love from everywhere that we are around the globe and around the U.S. I love your picture, David, of the light on the globe. That's exactly who we are. The quote that Niobe chose is this one that you are seeing on your screen here. What will integration of the divine masculine and feminine birth upon this plane? If you will receive it, it will birth heaven on earth. For all of you are calling forth the balance of action, masculine energy, melded with the inner wisdom of the heart, feminine. That is truly what is occurring, and you will see it in the next few years of your timing. That is truly what is afoot. So just a little bit about Niobe. She is a wonderful Heart family member, has been part of our community for quite a few years. She's a gifted psychic, sound healer, light language channel, Reiki master, speaker, recording artist, and podcast host of Soul Reflections on Transformational Talk Radio. Turn it over to Niobe to address our topic for today. So go ahead and unmute yourself, please. Welcome, Niobe.
All right. Thank you. Thank you, Eva. Thank you, Josie. Welcome. Hello, everyone. It is just, it's a heart pleasure to be here with all of you. I've known Eva for some years and have had the joy to also be at a gathering with Josie, and also that I met Judith. Oh my goodness, many years ago, when she was living in Olympia, Washington, and she had a man named John Mark Hammer, come channel Jeshua. So a friend of mine and I thought she says, "Hey, you want to go hear somebody channel Jesus?" And I said, "Sure." And I thought I was going to Olympia. I thought, well, I'm going to be at the Red Lion Inn, something like that, right? And instead, it is this beautiful home in the woods outside of Olympia. And it was a transformational experience. And little did I know, within a couple of years, I would be meeting Judy, and that Judy had then taken on the mantle of channeling Jeshua. So I love how things really are in a divine order. If we look at our lives, if we take the time to look at our lives, we can see that there is a step to step to step. There is a weaving of divinity in our experiences in our lives, good, bad, or indifferent, because sometimes the things that are really challenging and we say that are really hard times or really bad, something really bad happened to us in our lives, is a catalyst that opens up the door for beloved, for Father, Mother, Spirit, God to come in. And the next thing we know, our lives shift and transfer and transmute into a life of love and heart and healing. And the next thing we know, we've got something occurring. We're living a life that we just couldn't think we would have. So, so that being said, coming into the topic of today is, as I was talking with Eva about this, it was a thing of, okay, as I just tapped in and I said, all right, what is this? You know, what is it? And just came and says, what would Jesus do? What would Jeshua do? And I know that a lot of people hear that. We hear that a lot in different circles and communities. Well, what would Jesus do? What would Jeshua do? Do you ask yourself that? And as I step into talking further about what would Jeshua do, I'd just like to also share my relationship that I have with Jeshua. I was raised Catholic. So from a very young age, I learned about him as Jesus. I learned about Mother Mary. And Mary Magdalene at the time was not talked about very much. She had just literally, through the Vatican, just came out of being portrayed as a harlot. And that, you know, he cast out seven demons, etc. All this about Mary Magdalene, which was not the truth. And so I was in that process. I was in that generation that had that shift with Mary Magdalene. But I had a time that I was very close to Mother Mary. Mother Mary was always something. She was relatable. She was there, the mothering, but just this woman that could be there for me. And however, what they did do though was Jesus was, as he is Jeshua to me now, there was a distance there, because there was this conversation, there was this message saying what you had to do to be able to become close to him, because they had him up on such a high throne, on such a high space, such a high level of what you would have to do supplicate this, that, or the other. And also guilt was a huge thing in Catholicism. Of being able to connect with him and have that relationship that I had with Mother Mary. He was just very in the distance. So moving on, let's take a look at how through time has gone. So Jeshua came into my being and shifted and changed as I became, I left the church, and then I studied the goddess religion. And that is actually what opened up myself to the divine feminine and the divine masculine within me. There was the thing of that, there was the divine masculine as in the God, and then the divine feminine in the goddess. But there was also talking about that we do have that divine masculine in myself as a female, and then men have their divine feminine. And it was through being through this time that I would go through the wheel of the year and follow the moons, that it was deepening into meeting men who were stepping into their divine feminine. They were coming into softening themselves, being honest with themselves. It was okay to cry. And then for women, and it was just, I'm a strong woman. You know, I'm strong, I'm capable. I birth babies. I can take care of myself. There's so much that women can do in this strength of who we are. And so there was this balancing ownership of that divine feminine and divine masculine. And then I moved on into my spiritual studies, into Unity and Center for Spiritual Living. So for many years, Unity was able to bring me into that place of, I could sit down. It's like when I'm talking about the goddess religion, now coming into Unity, it was a thing of really just being able to sit down and deepen into this experience of divine masculine and divine feminine, and that through many of the world's religions, it's there, it's present. But at that time, Jeshua had actually come into a personal relationship for me. And that happened in 1989, when I was in a place that I was very alone. I was in an emotionally and verbally abusive marriage. I had very small children. I had a mother that was being very domineering, dominating. You must do it this way. You have to do it this way. And I basically was doing the dance of the red shoes, trying to keep everybody happy and raise my two children. And I'm not going to go into this very long, but the basic story is this. There was a day that we dropped the children off to the grandparents, and we went fishing, and we actually had a nice day. That was unusual with this man. We stopped at a friend's house on the way home, and I hadn't had much to eat. And so the wine flowed, and so I got inebriated rather quickly. And so we came home, we left my daughter at Grandma and Grandpa's, and we brought my son home, and he liked to pick on my son. And so he immediately started in on my son. And I went in and I stopped and put my child to bed. And when I went in to confront him about, that's enough, you don't treat my child this way, even though I was inebriated, I was told, why don't you just F off and die? And something happened inside me. I think what it was is I had way too many years. It was years of having just this consistent up against it with him, up against it with my mother. And I went into the bathroom, and I had an injury. And so there was a bottle of pain pills and a bottle of muscle relaxers, and I took both full bottles. And I laid down on the couch and I died. It would take some time and some years for me to recall what happened, but I do recall this. There was this disembodied voice, this sweet voice that whispered in my ear, "Wake up." And I opened my eyes, I smiled, and I said, "I'm alive." And from that moment on, I started struggling and fighting for my life. And within 30 days, I spent 2 days in ICU. In 30 days, my children and I left. And that is when I started healing in therapy. And that is also when the goddess religion came. And that's when unity came. And in that time period, it was like I couldn't recall what had happened when I was out of my body. So it was time to remember. And I had a hypnotherapy session. And what it was is I left my body into this sea of living light. It was all these amazing colors of living light. And then what happened was Jeshua formed out of in this living light. And then we were in the living room where I was on the couch. We have this conversation, and there's this old woman comes to me, and she's apologizing me, telling me, "I'm so sorry for all the bad I did." And for some reason, I didn't know who she was, but I forgave her. And I looked at Jeshua and I said, "What do you want me to do?" He says, "Trust it'll be revealed to you." And that's when I had gone back into my body. So here it was. It was a few years later. It was 2008. And here was my mother in a facility. And her life she was losing her life to Alzheimer's. And she looked at me and she says, "I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for all the bad I did. I don't know why I did it." That was the old woman that Jeshua showed me that would need to have forgiveness for her. And this story is about what I said at the beginning of our talk, the timeline of what happens in our lives. And within that time, I had come into my psychic gifts had opened up. I had started channeling Mother Mary. I was channeling Magdalene. And then there was an evening that we had a Reiki circle that was a lot more than a Reiki circle. But there was an evening that Mother Mary came to me. And I have a song in one of my on one of my CDs about her. And then I had a vision. There was a time that I had a vision, and Jeshua, I was seeing through Jeshua's eyes, and I was looking at Mary Magdalene. And I realized, and then I saw through her eyes, and he was smiling at her, and he said, "Watch this." And his eyes turned into the universe, planets and stars and stellars, and just this amazing, amazing light and message that came into his eyes. I was deepening into a relationship he was the divine masculine now, which was opening up the divine masculine within me. And as much as then the divine feminine within me had also gotten stronger. In other words, there is this beautiful union that Jeshua and Magdalene held when they were on this planet. And as he walked his path, as he even walked his path to where he would to his death, they were all there. And there was a channeling evening to where it was Easter is what the weekend was. And I had two Marys, Mary and Marie, and they were doing some energy work on me. And I had this experience of this massive crowd that was just in, this massive crowd that was screaming and yelling. And I'm walking through this crowd, and I feel others with me, and I know that we're together, that we're joined in oneness. And the next thing I know, I am standing and I am seeing Jeshua. He had come down off the cross and he was in his mother's arms. And I was looking through the eyes of Mary Magdalene. I could have continued on channeling the way I was channeling. People were beginning to come. I live in a very small community, and I had children that were just getting out of junior high and into high school. And it was one thing to have a mother that was a massage therapist. It was another thing to have a mother that was channeling Mary and Mary Magdalene, and sometimes Jeshua. So I did step away from that, but they are always present and they're always there. And as I'm in this stage of my life now, I am opening up and diving deeper back into that, as especially now the need for really being attuned and grounded into their presence, into their energy, into this divinity that we are. Because there's times when we feel helpless. What can we do? To come back, return home, come back within, rest there, be present within this space, this soul light space that is eternal and holds so much presence to be there for you. And Eva, I don't know what my timeline is. Let's see here. You can, I don't know how you can let me know. But that is, I think we're being asked this now more than ever. Come home. Come home to the wholeness within you. Come home to that wholeness of what's that divine masculine in you? What is that divine feminine? I mean, I see my divine masculine. I was a single mom for quite a few years. And then I've been a single woman for quite a few years. And in that, it's opening up into that divine masculine of coming into my strengths, my abilities. What am I good at? And how I make a living for myself. I grew up in an era, and there's still many around the world, that I needed to have a husband, just like I was saying earlier in this talk. But this time that I have had alone, it is just things that I've decided, I chose that I wanted to do. I was in, like I said, I was a massage therapist for many years, Reiki master, sound healer. And a time came I needed to retire from massage. And then what was I going to do next? Well, the next thing I knew was like, you know what? I want to learn about finance. And so I went to work, and I was a branch office administrator for a world, well, not a world, they were in Europe, but some of you know Edward Jones. So I was a branch office administrator for Edward Jones for a good 6-7 years. And I learned it was opening up about something that hadn't actually been given to me, because I was a girl and my husband was supposed to take care of that. There's nothing wrong with that. But if your daughter winds up being single for a while, there's things she needs to learn. And it's just like for raising a boy. I raised my children. I have a boy and I have a daughter. And I raised my son. My son is not afraid to cry. My son is aware of his sensitivities, but he's also very much aware of his strength and who he is as a man. He's a very good man. He is married. He has been a wonderful stepfather. He's a nurse. on a medical surge unit. And I look at him, and he tried it. He really went out there and tested himself, which in process really tested all of us that loved him. We didn't know if we were going to get him back. And he just got kind of pulled into a cult-like thing, but it was just a singular, but we did get him back. And then there's my daughter. My daughter started out as my son and was a wonderful, wonderful man. But I always saw something holding back. There would be just something in the personality. And then in 2019, I got a phone call. And she says, Mom, I'm trans. Oh, okay. That was a stun. And then 2019, and then of course I'm going to love my child in any form and way. And the thing is about my child being happy. And through the years, I mean, she's gone into therapy. She's clear about who she is. And now, I mean, she is my daughter, physically as well as her name, the way she looks. I have never seen my daughter happier in her life. She is, that odd little kind of hesitancy, kind of maybe shyness is gone. And she is owning, because she's owning who she is. Her divine feminine in her was so much stronger than her divine masculine. And little did I know that there was a period of time that I could have lost my daughter to taking her life because of this tug of war, this what was happening inside her. But she's beautiful. She's an amazing human being, kind, funny, smart, and her wife is still with her. So that may be hard to listen to today for you all, and it may not. And because it's a big thing that's out there. But what I have to say is that my son has a stepchild that started out as a boy. And at 13, I was there one night when he came in and asked to use my phone. I said, sure. It was about 30 minutes later, knock on the door, was in the basement, and there is this giant fireman. And he said, we're here for his name. And at 13, had tried to take his life. By 15, it was apparent, and it had come true and come out that he was trans. And so as he moved into adulthood and started to own who she is, so now, my son's stepdaughter, my son's wife, and has a daughter, and I've never seen her happier. She's absolutely beautiful. The other thing is she's brilliant, and she's on the spectrum too. There's that brilliance there. So we are a very eclectic family, and there is so much love that runs between us. We're not a big family, but we have been actually literally had the divine feminine and divine masculine really come to us in our face in a very physical, real sense. And there is nothing in the world better than having and looking at your child, your adult child, and seeing them happy, and that they want to still be on this earth. So that's quite a bit there.
Thank you, Niobe.
Thank you.
That's such a heartfelt sharing of your life, and I really appreciate hearing it because it gives us a chance to humanize and to take into our hearts what is happening in the world, and also seeing how our definitions of masculine and feminine, which is what we talked about the first time we approached this topic, are really quite open, and it's what I think this divine union is all about, is not putting people in categories, but knowing that life expresses in so many different ways. And we have just been trying to put it into small categories. So, in terms of the divine union, what would the Master of Love, Jesus, do in this situation? Would he accept, as he accepted everyone in the time that he was here? Would he be labeling people? Would he be saying there are only two sexes? What is the higher vision of heaven on earth when it comes to these energies? And I just want to open it up to some reactions, and then we'll come back to you, Niobe.
Well, first of all, if you look at it from the body standpoint, that's when you get all tied up. We're souls, we're not the bodies. And so the soul does not make mistakes, and it knows why it came, what it came to do, in what form, in what energy. It knows it all. But we I'm gonna say at the 3D level, we see things, black and white. It's either this or that. I used to be really good at that. It's either this way or it's that way, and I found out no, it's more to it than that. It's always more. So I'm saying I see the divine feminine as anything that's nurturing, like entertainers, people that cook, anybody that goes to, I call it going to the well or to the zone. You're in your divine feminine. You're nurturing, the nurturers, as females, but as males too. Male artists, you don't go to the masculine to sing, you go to the female side of yourself, energy, to sing, to dance, to create, that's your feminine side. So it doesn't matter if you're in a feminine body or a male body. It's just how you interact with those energies and how you balance them, when you need more of this side or more of that side. And as creators, like what we're doing now, we're definitely using our divine feminine. We may be balancing though. There's a balance here too, but we're definitely using our divine feminine because we're nurturing what Niobe just said. Yeah, Niobe, yeah, you really explained that very well. and so loving, and it really just helped me to know that we're souls. We're not in a box. Like Eva said, we're souls with no definition in that way. And so to be able to accept that, Niobe, is just a beautiful thing. And I know they're glad to have you as a mother.
I just love them to pieces. Oh my goodness, I'm so proud of them. So yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. And a long time ago, Jeshua did tell us the same thing that you just expressed, Josie, about us being souls. In fact, he said the plumbing isn't what matters.
Right. That's what he used to say. Yeah.
Well, and one of the things that they haven't brought out in scripture and Bible is like, these people, there were people like this then.
Oh, this is true.
That, and I mean, in Native American, they call it two-spirit.
Oh, okay.
They call it two-spirit, in Native American. And to them, There was no, it was easy. It was, it was easily accepted. So, it's not anything new.
This is true.
It's just new for our culture to deal with it. Who else would like to comment or join the discussion? Rena, I can see the wheels turning.
Well, Josie really said what I was thinking, but I know we're at a time in our history, in our lives, where everything is being exposed for a purpose or being looked at for a purpose. And this is one of the things, that people have got to, understand that, like you say, we are souls. And we, it's, and if you think of it as that instead of, oh, she's a girl or she's a boy or she's a, if your soul is with you and you're experiencing your soul, your choices are anything. You can be anything. You can be anybody.
Whatever you want to do.
Whatever you want to do. So, and that's the reality of who we are. It's like Judah says, and there's more. Every time I think of Judah, she says it so often, but it's the truth. There's more of us. We could be living in other dimensions other than what we're doing right now. We could be living somewhere else on another planet. And, this is just part of the reality. And it's such a small part of the reality.
Yeah.
But our soul is so expansive that, people are just now learning all about this and the reality of really what a soul is.
Right.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Beautifully said, Rena. That's right. Our souls help us select this experience, but in terms of the bigger picture, we get to decide what kind of experiences we have. And also, I wanted to acknowledge, Niobe, that your daughters are great masters to come in at this time and to example to everyone around them. I mean, think about how it has affected you and it has affected your son and his wife and all the people that it touches, that we are indeed more than the body, that we are the spirit that energizes the body. Mm-hmm. And as Jeshua tells us, and that is love. And love leaves no one or nothing out.
No, it doesn't. Mm-mm.
Yeah, and the courage that it takes. That I look at both. I look at both my daughter and then my son's stepdaughter, and I look at both of them. It was like just the absolute depth of courage, and knowing it's like there's no choice. I must walk this path, and it's just amazing to watch them.
Mm-hmm.
So how would this affect our idea of heaven on earth if divine masculine, divine feminine were imbalanced and we lived in genuine equality on this earth? Are they an example of this kind of equality within themselves and then within this world?
Acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. It's pushed the narrative. I mean, it is breaking people open, and we're seeing those that can't get past. And I mean, and then to them, it's their form of spirituality. It's their form of religion. Mm-hmm. And they're not being able to break past it, but it's just happening all over the world. And so it's a new awakening. Maybe that's the way to look at it.
Well, the main thing I just want to comment, I'm really appreciating the conversation and just the power of hearing the personal stories rather than just generalizations. I think is what struck me especially, that this is real stuff. It's real energy happening. So thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Anything else you wanted to tell us or share with us about the visionary aspect of using the ways the Spirit has been using divine feminine and divine masculine for us to uplevel ourselves in our thinking, feeling, expansion process, and then go into a meditation.
Okay. I believe that we are actually seeing the divine feminine and divine masculine rising up together around the world. Voices are being shared for humanity, for what's right, for that everyone has a place at the table, that everybody has a right to be living their lives the way they desire. And that this isn't about, it's about unity and oneness and just seeing your neighbor and acknowledging your neighbor and honoring your neighbor and honoring each other. I think that's what I'm saying is the masculine and feminine is rising up around the world, and the voices are being heard. And it's not over yet. It's not over yet. There's a whole wave. There's a wave, a big shift that's happening. So within that, let's take a deep breath in. Come into relaxing into your chair. Come into a meditation on this. And a nice, just gentle breath in. Everything that has been, all the energy of thought and possibilities that have been discussed today, and everything that you've heard, just breathing in and out through your mouth. Nice deep in through your nose, out through your mouth. And feel your feet connected to the earth. Feel your root chakra nice and grounded as you're seated in your chair. And feel some energy just start to sweetly rise up through your feet and around your legs, moving into that root chakra and just spiraling up through all the energy centers, second, third, that power center of solar plexus, heart center, bring extra sparkle of energy into this heart center of your own divine feminine, of your own divine masculine, moving up to your throat, feeling the openness there to be able to speak your truth. Up into third eye. What is the vision that you have had or have about this divine union? And coming up into the crown, opening up into the divine, connecting with Father, Mother, Jeshua, Magdalene, breathing in and out through your mouth. feeling through your whole body of what it would be like if you were sitting right now in front of Jeshua and Magdalene. Their presence in front of you, their presence reveals that they are within you. Breathe into that sensation. The Magdalene says, you hold the divine feminine. And Jeshua says, you hold the divine feminine. In a sacred, holy union. And like it spins within your heart center, this glorious green energy of your heart. Feel this divine union there. And spinning and opening. Allow your fingers to move a little bit. Now bring that incredible union down through the root chakra, connecting to Mother Earth. That's it. Very good. Coming up back through the heart. Keep rooted into the earth. Now send it up through your crown into Father Sky. An absolute divine union between heaven and earth. Not a divine union of masculine and feminine, alive, moving, speaking, being in your heart at all times. Present when you came into this body and will be present when you leave this body. Absolute oneness. Just be with that for a few moments. Breathe in through your nose and just sigh, just out through your mouth. One more time in through your nose and sigh out through your mouth. Now, I want you to bring your energy back in from your root, from the earth. Just draw it back in, up through your feet, through your perineum, and back in, and now bring it down from Father Sky, coming down into your heart, all coming down through chakras that have been awakened and are balanced, and now in your heart. And place your hands on your heart. And with your breath, take a couple of 3 breaths and bring yourself home into your chair, grounded and clear and ready to open your eyes when you can.
Thank you, Niobe. as we are still here in this divine space, I wanted to share another quote from Jeshua about this idea of oneness. And he said, in answer to a question about, do we have soulmates? That there is no lack of love in your life because you are outpouring the love which you are, and you will know multitudinous soulmates. So yes, there is a soulmate for you. But the secret, which is not hidden from you, is that the soulmate is you. For all minds and all hearts are joined, and you are not separate. Although you would see the bodies to be separate, the hearts are not separate. And the love which you are is so full that it is felt by the trees as you pass by the birds you talk to, by your brothers and sisters you see in the grocery store and the gas station, everyone you meet. You are your own soulmate. And if it pleases you to talk unto a soulmate, know that this is all well and good, but know that the soulmate is not separate from you. The soulmate is you.
Beautiful.
Isn't that just so wonderful for us to think about at another level of how this union works? So what were you saying, Niobe?
I just said absolutely. Yes.
Anyone have any feedback for Niobe before I make my final announcements here?
It was such a beautiful presentation, and it really was so deeply felt by me. I thought it was exactly what we all needed to hear today.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you so very much. I wanted to just acknowledge how special and how privileged we are to have you here with us, Niobe. And I'm so happy to have you as a neighbor. And Josie leads a beautiful Oak Ridge prayer ministry. And there's a wonderful place on our new website to put in your confidential prayer request. And an email with a prayer will be mailed to you if you so desire, or to the person that you are have us pray for. So please make use of it, because it's a powerful thing that when we pray together. And we have two wonderful YouTube channels now, Jeshua the Personal Christ and the Oak Ridge University Heart Family Portal. Sending July blessings to everyone. And please, if you can possibly do it, please help us out with donations. They're greatly appreciated to maintain our website and all our technology. And there's a prominent donation page on our website, or by check to PO Box 485, Sequim, Washington.
Yeah, I would just like to add that if you're interested and would like to learn more about working with me, you can go to my website, Niobe, www.niobeweaver.com. And I've got it says work with me, because what I do is I do soul reflection readings. It is about singing your soul song and then a reading from that. And there's always a vocal practice that happens that my clients get to be using for within their own body. So, or if you there's also, if you want to just have a talk with me and see if it would even be a match. So just go to my website and go to work with me. And I'd love to be able to be of assistance and guidance for you.
Wonderful. And tell us about your radio show too.
Oh yes, my podcast. Oh my goodness, it's Transformation Talk Radio, and it is Soul Reflections. And this is with Dr. Pat Basile. She's had this Transformation Talk Radio has been going now for 20 years. And I have my show is on the second Tuesday of each month at 1:30 p.m. for half an hour, and the fourth Tuesday as well. So yeah, but just go to Transformation Talk Radio, type in my name, Niobe Weaver, and or Soul Reflections, and you can find me there, and you're going to be able to see about how to play that. And then I have a YouTube channel, but I have to get that one more clear, because we needed to put Soul Reflections on this side, on it, as well as Niobe Weaver. So there we go.
Okay.
Wonderful. So that's where you can find more connections with Niobe, and she is indeed a catalyst and a healer. And we are so honored to have had you with us, Niobe. And we hope you come back again and explore more topics.
Thank you so much. It's been wonderful to be here with you all. Much love and blessings.
Many blessings.
So much.